It's a bird. It's a plane. It's two Malaysians talking about movies.
Let's talk about it.
Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperTalks. I'm Nick Dorian.
And I'm Kelvin Tay.
And the moment is finally here. The moment we have been waiting a good 2-3 years for. James Gunn's Superman and the official start of the DCU. I think it's safe to say Gunn came out with a bang, as Gunn always does.
There's a lot to unpack here, but overall, it's definitely a good Superman film.
Overall. We're not going to get into any spoilers for this because, of course, the movie literally just came out. So what we're going to talk about is what we felt about the film, any expectations that we had, what it was it met, was it not met, and just overall how the film was. So stay tuned right after this break. We'll be talking Superman.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for what some might...
It's
a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny?
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
So first of all, I think all of us had a bit of hesitation with this particular Superman. Yes, we were excited. Gunn was doing Superman.
Yep.
But then set photos came out. People were like, oh, it's too bright. Why is it spandex? And then, of course, all the CGI.
Yeah. It went from people talking about the suit, people talking about, how bright
The
it
eyes.
was. Right? Oh, yeah. The eyes, they even like CGI that part out in the new trailer as well, where he blinked.
That one, I was like, wait, what was wrong with that blink?
Right. But I feel like after coming out of the theater, it's definitely, this is what I wrote down. Okay. It reminds me of the feeling I had watching Iron Man 1 and Captain America 1 all over again, where I am hyped up for what's to come of this DCU.
Yes.
Because in previous episodes, we did talk about how much superhero fatigue that we have felt, right? Watching all these new Marvel films that is coming out, and you just don't feel as excited as like pre-Endgame.
Yes. I agree with you. I second that. But the feeling that I got was when I watched the very first Christopher Reeve Superman for the first time.
Right.
Like, the second the film opened with that nostalgic Superman John Williams theme, the old school logo and font, and then you see like the Fortress of Salt, I was like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I felt when I was a little kid seeing my Superman for the first time.
And then for me, someone who didn't really grew up with that Christopher Reeve's Superman, I felt like this was a very comic accurate Superman film because the notes that I have here is something along the lines of like, the pacing felt great, the acting felt amazing, and this revision of Superman really feels very comic accurate because so I'm going to try and pronounce his name, okay?
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Superman's name, okay?
Here we go.
David Cornsweet.
Not bad.
Right?
Yes,
okay?
yes.
David Cornsweet's Superman felt very soldier boy, felt very Boy Scout, goody two shoes. And to a fault, he is all for justice, all for doing good, regardless of red tapes, regardless of politics, regardless of law. He just wants to do good. And the main point of this entire film that we watched was he wants to save as much people as he can.
Yes. Cornsweet is absolutely 100% Clark Kent and Superman in my eyes right now.
Yep.
He really brought back the essence of what Superman was. Like, this really is a comic book come to life, as you said.
Yep.
And adding that combined with a little bit of Christopher Reeve Superman as well, this is as comic accurate as we could get. He's awkward, he's confident, he's charming, but has a bit of a sarcastic side to him as well. He's an all-American hero that's not American.
Yeah.
And
there's one point in the film where he said that, he is doing his best and he is only human.
Yes.
Right? That that kind of echoes throughout the film, where you can see him, like you said, right? When he's awkward, he's awkward. You know, when he's confident, he is confident.
Yes.
And the both side of the coin, where his alter ego Clark Kent and also him as Superman felt very true to the T.
Yes.
Right?
Like you could really tell the difference between Clark Kent and Superman.
Before we proceed, I just want to clear the air of everyone watching here, right? Because James Gunn's Superman have been getting a lot of flack because, like we said in the beginning of the show, you know, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's too bright, the CGI, you know, he doesn't look like Superman. Why his spandex look so?" I feel we need to do a quick comparison of Gunn's Superman and Snyder's Superman.
I mean, I think it was inevitable because especially the newer generation, say Gen Z or whatnot, their Superman is Cavill's Superman, that interpretation of Superman. So having this and maybe not having the familiarity with Christopher Reeve's Superman, if you go straight from Snyderverse to this, it's going to be a major shock.
Definitely.
And there's definitely going to be a lot of flack because you're so used to the Snyderverse.
Yep.
Whereas I feel like our generation, we will appreciate this film very much so because it reminds us again of the Superman we grew up with. Having said that though, it doesn't discount Cavill's performance. Honestly, if Cavill was in this type of a Superman role, he would do equally as well. As well. Because we saw that a little bit in Snyder's Justice League, the black and white version. A little bit of the Boy Scout came out again. So it's like, oh, it is there. Unfortunately, it leaned more towards the I'm Superman. Martha, why'd you say that?
But what I've written down here is like it's definitely not a 1-to-1 comparison for Gunn's and Snyder's version of Superman or anything in the DCU, for example, right? Because Snyder's take on the DCU was very dark, very gritty, and to a point, if we want to include the CGI in there, it looks very obvious.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, with Snyder's universe, he had an idea. That is his universe. Now we're in Gunn's universe. And I think we need to separate that. Just like how we do with the Batman.
Yes, exactly.
Like we know, this was Bale's Batman. This is Pattinson's Batman. Let's do the same for this. That was Snyder's Superman.
Exactly.
This is Gunn's Superman. It's not going to be the same and we shouldn't expect it to be the same.
And the big takeaway here that I've written down is like, if you are a fan of Gunn, or any of Gunn's work, you will 100% enjoy this Superman film.
100%. I love how, yes, there is the old school energy, but there's also Gunn's signature, like humor, his jokes. Might be a little bit dirty here and there, but we'll accept it. And I mean, the stuff that he did, not only with Superman and Lex Luthor, but all the side characters as well.
God, yes.
Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, Hot Girl, all of that. I feel this film is such a well-rounded, fun, heartfelt, just good time. This is the perfect superhero blockbuster for the entire family to enjoy.
And I remember the conversation we had going up the escalator into the theater. I was like, bro, I really hope this will be a good movie. Because so far out of all the blockbusters that we've seen for the summer blockbuster timeline, it has been kind of like, you know, fitty.
Especially just coming out of Jurassic World Rebirth. This was a nice refresher.
And we kept saying, you know, we hope, we pray that this does justice.
Yes.
And just to, you know, long story short, it really did justice.
It really did. Now, after the break, we're going to be touching on that aforementioned side characters because as much as Superman is the focus, there's just as much focus to everyone else as well. So we'll see you right after this break.
So this guy just flew into Midtown and started attacking people, demanding for Superman to show up?
Yeah, it's all there in my article.
And I'd actually have to make it through your writing, Clark. Knowledge is worth many sacrifices. That isn't one of them.
Very funny, Lois.
So as much as this film is about Superman, there is still enough time given for all the other characters for you to fall in love with them.
And if you have watched the trailer, you definitely know that, Hawk Girl is in there, Green Lantern is in there, Mr. Terrific's in there, and so many other fantastic cast and characters here.
Like, Gunn knows how to do ensemble pieces.
Yes.
It's very obvious. And with this, sure, he did say it's an ensemble piece as well, which got people worried. It's like, oh, is it not going to be like mainly Superman? He managed to find a way to make Superman the main focus, but also give enough focus to everyone else as well. Specifically, the quote-unquote Justice Gang.
The Justice Gang, which is a title in progress.
Yes, which is a title in progress. Which is, of course, Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrific.
Yes.
These three honestly surprised me at how much I loved them. Like, okay, it was a given. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, it's guaranteed perfect.
If you watch the trailer, you understand that Guy Gardner is a bit of a loose cannon in the Green Lantern universe.
Yeah, he's a bit of a
let's...
And I loved him so much. Like, I cannot wait to see him again. He seems to be popping up in Peacemaker. He's going to pop up in the Green Lantern Corps series. I can't get enough of his Guy Gardner at this point.
But out of the Justice Gang, there's only one person who stood up and he was he was the comic relief. He was serious when he wanted to be serious. He
had attitude.
Yeah.
Yes.
And his whole action montage in that one scene was just like, what? He's not a nerd, but he's this guy. And of course I'm talking about Mr. Terrific, played by Eddie Gathegi.
Yes.
Right?
I honestly didn't know much about Mr. Terrific, but after this, I love Mr. Terrific.
I would say he almost took the spotlight away from Superman.
Yeah.
The actor Eddie Gathegi played him so well.
Like, he reminds me of Donald Glover in Lethal Weapon, where he's like, I'm too old for this shit.
Yep.
Every time it's like, come on, I have to clean this shit up again.
The weakest link between those three, in my opinion, is Hawk Girl.
Yeah.
Hawk Girl, I don't know if this is spoiler, but she's very punk rock. She's very like nonchalant, and you don't know what's the point of her in this film besides like maybe having a girl side character, or she's just there for like fill up the time.
I mean, to be fair, Isabella Mercer is a great actress, and she's. I would like to see her more as Hawk Girl because I think she'll be a good Hawk Girl.
Okay.
But the other three that we also should mention is, of course, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, and Lex Luthor. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, I have no faults at all because I loved her in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So having her on this, she has that attitude, but also that lovability.
And also she's so beautiful.
Yeah.
She is so beautiful.
She's that strong, independent woman who's just in love with her superhero.
She is, how I would describe this version of Lois Lane is she is unapologetic.
Yes.
She is a headstrong journalist that don't care about anything else but getting the truth and her story out.
And she gets things done.
Yes.
And that is Lois Lane. That's 100%. Lois Lane in the comic books that we know. Jimmy Olsen. Oh my God. I'm sorry, but I could not think of a more perfect Jimmy Olsen. What's this actor's name again? Because I know I've seen him in a lot of things.
This is Skylar Gisondo.
Skylar Gisondo. I think I first saw him in Santa Clarita Diet, and I think he was as perfect of a Jimmy Olsen as you can find.
Yep, he plays like a Prince Charming, and he's also very supporting. Like he in this film is basically the guy behind the computer.
Yes.
Right? He is the exposition that gets the side plot going, that gets the main plot going, and he is there as a slapstick character, but at the same time he's acting. Oh my God.
Now, this one is the one that seemed to divide the two of us. Lex Luthor. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Now, I know you had issues with him.
Yep.
What were your issues with him?
I felt like... Okay, let's just compare this Lex Luthor to the previous Snyder's Lex
Eisenberg.
Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg's one, right? I don't like both of them.
Okay.
I don't like both of them. I don't know if it's the actor. I don't know if it's the writing. I don't know if it's the acting itself. But I feel like this Lex Luthor was not comic accurate to a point where he is there as a punching bag. Because there are points where it's like, oh, I hate Superman with a passion and I'm doing everything in this film. And throughout the entire film, it's just him trying to take down Superman.
Yeah.
Right? And then there are some points where he's scared, some points where he's like, I'm big boss. And I feel like it fails in the writing.
Yeah.
Because he himself don't know what he wants, right? Yes, the main point of him being there is classic Lex Luthor stuff. He wants to take down Superman.
Yeah.
But Nicholas Holt's acting, Nicholas Holt's acting or perception of him is just, he's confused. He don't know what he wants. You know, some points in the film where he's like this big boss, that one fight scene where he's in the base and then there's a lot of fight scene going on and things exploding around him. He didn't even blink an eye. Right? He's walking. But when he sees Superman flying towards him, he's like, oh shit, you know, he's like timid. I just feel like it failed in the writing and he's just there as a punching bag.
For me, I'm the complete opposite of that. I really enjoyed Holt's performance because, again, it felt like watching Gene Hackman's performance in the original Superman again.
Okay.
If any of you remember, Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor was also slightly flamboyant. He had the curly hair and he was like that as well. It's essentially an overgrown child with money and drunk with power. And that is Lex Luthor. So for me, I had no problems with Holt. I really, really, really enjoyed his over-the-topness with Luthor. And that panic as well. He's a big bully. That's essentially what Luthor is. He's a big bully who is scared when he is bullied.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair point. That's a very nice way to put it. He's a big bully because he got all the money in the world to be able to be a big bully.
Eisenberg's one, I agree because it didn't fit. That kind of style of acting and all that, it didn't quite fit within Snyderverse. Whereas with Holt's Luthor in Gunn's universe, it complements Cornsweat's Superman so well. That battle, it's just, I really love his performance.
Other things that I truly enjoy is when it comes to Gunn's film, you know the playlist is going to...
Oh yes,
the playlist
you're
was
not
fantastic,
disappointed with the soundtrack.
You know, every soundtrack or every music selected for different scenes fits so well.
Yeah.
But there's also parts where Gunn's writing fail because knowing Gunn, he likes to put more humor than anything else, right?
Okay, yes.
It was just humor after humor after humor, and I felt like all this humor, yes, it's fun, it's nice, it's Gunn. But for a film like this, I wish there was more serious tone to like how Superman is Superman.
I get what you mean. For me, I think I don't want more seriousness. I would have liked more emotional moments.
That's technically, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily need to be serious, but like have those moments where we can take a breather and feel the emotions for a bit. But again, with or without, it's still a damn good time.
Yeah.
Like I really cannot fault this film much. There's
same.
so much good to say about this. So I think at this point, people need to go into it with an open mind. Leave Snyder's verse aside. Look at this as something new.
Because if you go into this reboot of the DCU, thinking that this is going to be like Nolan's Batman or Snyder's Justice League, then you will be in for a very, very, very bad time. Because you have to separate both reboots as an entity of its own. It's exclusive to its own universe. And this is something that Gunn is trying to reboot into his image. Another thing that I've written down here is like, and I'm going to quote my own writing. Gunn had a lot on his shoulders. It's not easy carrying an entire studio and an entire universe on his back, but he did it and he gave it justice to this version of Superman.
No pun intended with the justice.
Yeah.
So what would you give it on the Clapper meter?
A 7.2 out of 10.
Wow, so specific.
A 7.2. Yeah.
Okay.
A 7.2.
I will go more general and I will give it a solid 8 out of 10.
A solid 8 out of 10?
A solid 8 out of 10.
Okay.
If you are going to go and watch it, I think at this point we would urge you to go and watch it in IMAX.
Yes. You have
100%.
Yep.
It's filmed for IMAX, so it's a good time. Seeing it on the big screen like that is just so majestic, especially the fight sequences. The moment when Superman's flying, just seeing that is just... it makes you feel like a kid again. And lastly as well, there are 2 post-credit sequences. There's a post-credit and a mid-credit. So make sure you stay back for those. Yes. So I guess that is our take on Superman.
Can I just read one last thing that I've written
Sure,
down?
sure.
Which is my overall feeling of this film itself.
Yep.
Gunn's Superman gave the DCU a new lease of life in the universe's reboot. Although it has some room for improvement, but I, for one, left the cinema entertained and hopeful for more. That's exactly how I felt. Unfortunately, there are a lot of parts where kind of left out because it is spoiler filled. But again, overall, this is generally a good time. It brings back that excitement of like, wow, Iron Man is out, wow, Captain America is out.
Yeah.
Let's go check this out. And I came out like, wow, this was actually entertaining. This was actually fun. This was a great watch. And now I'm just excited for more of Gunn's DCU.
I will say this. I used to go and watch Marvel films maybe more than once.
Yep.
That ended with Endgame. Every Marvel film, I would just watch it once and I'm done. I cannot wait to see Superman again. I want to go and watch it again. So yeah, go and watch Superman. It's officially now in Malaysian cinemas nationwide. You won't regret it. Go watch it. Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. And as always, you can check us out on social media at ClapperCorn on Instagram, TikTok, and of course, YouTube.
And if you want to learn more about the Malaysian podcasting landscape, you can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at RRP Malaysia.
Thank you so much again for watching. I'm Nick Dorian.
And I've been Kelvin Tay.
Keep watching the movies.